Good morning, Shadim Shari. Yeah, Green Paradise face ripping rally. I don't think anyone is complaining. After yesterday, after the last 5 trading days. But earning season is here, so the focus is going to be on earning and guidance, as well as economic data. We have CPI and jobless data coming out in about an hour. That will definitely be the key driver to the market, so be careful. But Constellation brand earning came out last night after hour. Not bad. Decent. Increased buyback. Slightly beat earning. Guidance was okay. So yeah, I would love to buy some. Pre-market, I might even grab a few share. Let's see what it did after hour yesterday. After hour yesterday, it popped. As always, you know the rule. If it pop in after hour, you should trim. So now it's literally $10 cheaper right now compared to what it was at 4:30 yesterday. So yeah, I like STZ. Let's see what the juice look like for options. Would I do 172, 170 spread? Yeah. Yeah. With 2 days to expire, the answer is yeah. If there is juice, okay, it might the spread might collapse today, but I think if you want to play it extra safe, do a 167.5, 165, right? That's a safer spot that you can do that have potentially any juice left there. As you can see right there, you might be able to get 30 cents, maybe. Okay, right? Based on what happened yesterday, you might even get maybe 15 cents, which is not a bad deal for 2 days. I wouldn't mind throwing two orders. Order for two by two. Grab lunch money. Bud. I have nothing in Bud. I'm out. It was a winning trade. I was watching it, right? Would I buy Bud? Now, as always, every time I bring up Bud, I talk about very gappy, if not the most gappy stock in the history of all stocks. Look at this thing. It gapped on the daily basis almost. Okay, look. It's insane. Sure, there are a week that it can behave like a sane stock and then gap, and then yeah, and then look at this gap. It's so normally I don't pay much attention to the gap fill. Okay, it's just look, see this mean nothing. Okay, it filled the gap and then it gap all over the place down. Okay, look, it gap down, right? It gap up. It pay no attention. It's rare that it did this where it gap up and then on the massive market sell-off it came down to the low of the gap up and held. One of the few times where TA came in and held up the stock. Would I buy it here? Not really. Would I sell put spread below the 100? The answer is yes. Is there juice? Definitely not for this week, right? But what happened if we go out next week? Next week at 55, you might, yeah, it's pretty weak. So for now, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put an alert here. So that I know when it below the 50, because the 50 will be rising past this point by Friday. But if the alert go off, then at least I would know that it is near the 50, slightly below the 50. Then that might be a good spot to maybe add a few shares, sell some put spread at 54 and below. We'll see. It's on watch. No need to chase anything. Tab. Would I buy at the gap fill? Yeah. Would I do anything at the 200? Not really. I mean, I'm gonna set an alert. Okay. In fact, let's do this. Let's remove this long overdue fib. We don't need that fib anymore. We can do this. Let's try this one. Let's start a new fib. There we go. Look at that. The 61.8 is potentially gonna line up with the 200 MA. So let me put a alert there. Alright, so if that alert go off, then I know that it is near the 200. Once again, let's see what the option look like. Monthly option only. Not much juice. Not much. Okay, sure. 55. If I can get 55, 52.5 spread for 25 cents, I take it. I would take that trade. Okay, because you have. Because I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind being assigned 100 shares at 55. Okay, that's basically it's just above the gap fill. But that would be the highest I'm willing to pay. Now, if I don't get that option order to go through, then I will see what I can do once this alert trigger, as far as maybe buy a little bit at the 200. We'll see. But for now, STZ, let me see if I can grab some share pre-market.